I'm 147, classified remote viewer. I was born this way. And when I was just a baby, my mama did pass away before my first birthday. And now I don't know what to say. I found myself in a political asylum program because of my talents. I told on some bad people in the old United States government. I said they cheated in the elections, and for us to survive as a nation and the people, we must have transparency and accountability. So I built up a reputation, knowing things before they happened, or at least their plans. So that's why I'm in this other voice, to hide who I am. An American citizen in political asylum. But what happened was, I'm trying to change the voice here. What happened was, I picked up some information through the news and my intuition that cheating was going on electronically in the United States, voiding the system, and even in every part of their electronic system. If something wasn't going the way of the agenda, then they would simply just hack in and change the numbers and the dates. So when people heard the news, it wasn't just the facts, it was a personal, political, financial agenda. So when everybody made decisions, it was already planted in their minds to accept the lies. Well, what do you expect when you have a world that says that you're born a sinner? You're going to act that way. So now you have to figure out what Jesus really was about. He was about saying we all have a divine purpose and can live in the image of God, Mother, Father. Yes, a divine blessing to all the world and to ourselves. And then guess what? We'll probably act that way. Throw out the idea that we are sinners and are born bad. No need to slap us in the ass as soon as we come out of the womb. Now we come through in warm water and warm light. They set us on our mother's, dad's beating hearts, because that's what it's all about. Our heart is the seed of love and all the emotions that connect us to the happy peptides in our thymus. Anyways, we just seen a new article about the Central Intelligence Agency had bought an organization and was basically, what do they call it? They were getting and gathering information from some private company. Outsourcing, that's it. We gotta do away with outsourcing. Outsourcing is a liability. And then we must have extreme transparency in government and our commercial systems. This is why I'm in political asylum. Because they've been holding, they should not, or they ought not, when I say ought not, using mind control and listening devices you can look it up on the internet. It's real. It's wireless technology like a cell phone that sends math through the air. It sends and picks up vibrations and then records and can alter them from a control center. Just like at a recording studio, when you're recording music, the control center can alter the sounds and the pictures. And that's what they've been doing with people's thoughts and body energy. That's why I went into political asylum, because I've been exposing this. Now, this is good information and good technology in the right hands, because it means a person who is born without regular mobility and brain function can now have a computer that can create synapses in the brain eventually, where the computer can do it for them and help them move their bodies. That way they can live a regular life and eventually possibly have the brain synapses to do it on their own. So, who is it that I'm talking about? This is the persons that I first experienced when I first started voting. I left a conservative religious belief system that said we cannot vote because the governments were part of the devil's world. And therefore, to vote and participate in the democracy was being disloyal to God's theocracy. Well, it turns out God's theocracy has been running by astral projectors, out-of-body people, like me, only I'm just a beginner. Well, I can't say that too much because it's a secret society knowledge and information. I might have to delete it in this film. Let's just call it remote viewing, where you take an energy, an orb, and send it out. Gather information and bring it all about. And then you take the impressions from the orb and put them down on paper. It could be smells, sounds, feelings, or ideas. Did I say pictures? Pictures too, yeah. Anyways, they take people like me and gather information to get information about a particular site or location. And then they take all these impressions, ideas that remote viewers gather, and they try to find out what might have happened, what may be happening, and what might happen in the future in order to protect the world from terrorism and criminal activity. Now, all words that I use in my writing down and in my vocals is I use strike through. So, like in the word criminal, there's a line drawn through it. In my poetry, I call it strike through poetry, striking out negativity. And then I'll also use the violet flame to transmute and transform negative, illegal energy into legal energy and to benevolent energy. It's just like taking a word and changing it. It's vibration, it's math. That's how it works. So, what I need for all of you to do to save us all from destruction is hold our officials accountable. Call your newspaper man, your news organizations, write to them and your senators and say, regulate and investigate mind control, provide funds and help targeted individuals. This will probably take a lot of our mentally ill and homeless persons off the street and give them regular lives, because their mental illness is just wireless and what we might call remote sensing and influencing people's lives. And unfortunately, this comes from people who've had too much money and too much time on their hands and just for some reason don't like certain types of people. It could be dark-skinned people, it could be progressive people, or people like gay people, who are usually, unfortunately, some may not want to hear this, but are victims of targeted people, mind control. You know, I like a girl, I see some guy who likes the girl I like. And so what I do is I get my mind control equipment, hire some people, and start manipulating the guy out of her life. That way I get her and he doesn't. Anyways, that's it, folks. As simple as that. That's what some rich people have been doing. But unfortunately, mind control equipment now can be put together by a smart person, even if you don't have a lot of money. So this situation must and can be and should be ought to be immediately taken up by our Congresses, parliamentaries, Houses of Representatives, House of Lords, intelligence agencies, and law enforcement. We need to set out guidelines for school officials to be able to recognize a targeted individual for the prosperity and the saving of our humanity. Thank you. Good night. Live long and prosper.